Hey Reddit, did you ever get suspended or expelled from school? If so, what for? In math I sat next to a guy called Mark. We got on pretty well, in a completely ungay manner. Once I dropped my pen under the desk, so I went down to get it, and the teacher asked me what I was doing under the desk. I don't know why, but I replied without thinking, pleasuring Mark in a sarcastic tone. The best part was that our school had a policy of filling out a form when a student misbehaved, and the first question on it was what was the student doing. Teacher wrote Jakarta was pleasuring Mark under the desk in math class. That was fun to explain to the parents. 2-day suspension. I had 3 days of in-school suspension for playing a game of hot sauce roulette. The rules were that a package of hot sauce would go around the table, and the person that the hot sauce would be passed to would have to be twisted once before being passed to the next person until the package burst. When it got to me, it was about 12 twists in. I held it out a little bit, twisted it, and it burst, only not in my direction. The sauce actually shot across the table and got in somebody's eye. We tried to keep it quiet, but the hot sauce hurt Alet. The kid tried to keep quiet, but he still let out small whines before a teacher came over and asked what was going on. He eventually burst into total tears, and another kid told the teacher what happened. I was then sent to the office and told my punishment. That kid's a bro for trying to keep it quiet. I was expelled for hacking. I made all the printers in the school print a poem I wrote about the poor network security, all at the same time. I also used the netsend command to pop up a message on all the computers in the school district about it. When they checked my user profile, they saw that I used remote desktop to connect to my home computer all class so that I wasn't restricted by their content filter. I'm a pretty well off size admin now. Once in 4th grade, a guy I didn't like accused me of spitting in the bottle of a girl I didn't particularly like. Since my hatred of the girl was public, they believed the guy. Got suspended for 3 weeks. If you're reading this, frick you Jiho. Immunizations were out of date. Got suspended for 4 days, until the doc provided immunization paperwork proving I had got them. Yay, I'm pretty badass. Okay, this one makes the most sense. It should be standard policy everywhere, to be honest, unless the student has a really good reason why they can't be vaccinated. Egg immunocompromised. Expelled from school for drawing a 30-foot dong using weed killer on the cricket field. No regrets. Someone drew a 200-foot long dong in the snow last year. I got 2 days of out of school suspension for skipping accounting class one time. I wasn't suspended, but I did get in trouble in the 2nd grade because I called a kid a tattletale and he told on me. Yes, I was technically expelled for 3/4 of my sophomore year in high school because I was an idiot and got caught selling other kids my Ritalin pills. Part of the fallout of that was mandatory community volunteer service, which I served by helping my mother as a teacher's aide at the local special needs school. The school even sent me a tutor so I could complete my classes. Returned back to school the first day of junior year and heard all the crazy rumors of how I was some big time Greek dealer and was sent to juvie. I wish I was that badass. I brought in bullets that I bought in an army museum. Got them out in a lesson. Had them taken off me. 2 lessons later, I was taken out of class by the lady that deals with the naughty kids. Pastoral teacher was her job title, I think, and she somehow knew what I'd done over the weekend. So you went to the army museum on Saturday then, and took me straight to the headmaster's office. In there was a table set up dramatically in the room with the bullets on him, with a stern face, and a police officer with a slightly sterner one. Got a bollocking. My headmaster called my mum on speakerphone. She laughed at the stupidity of calling the police and kinda ruined the effect he was going for, and the police officer actually turned out to be quite nice. Showed me how he knew they had been fired and that I just should keep them to myself if I ever bought them again. He took them away from me and took names and crap. I was excluded for 2 days and spent a week in the inclusion unit, which was nice, cause it was built for kids with special needs more than naughty kids, and had 2 dogs, fish, and Xbox, and a seemingly unlimited supply of cookies. Almost made me want to get in trouble again. I was excluded for 2 days and spent a week in the inclusion unit, which was nice, cause it was built for kids with special needs more than naughty kids and had 2 dogs, fish, and Xbox and a seemingly unlimited supply of cookies. Almost made me want to get in trouble again. That sounds dope. In 1999 I was expelled from public school, along with a boatload of other students, for being a guy with long hair, with a superintendent, who had been fired from his previous 2 jobs and would go on to give himself raises until he was paid more than the governor, implemented a strictly racist dress code policy stating that guys couldn't have piercings or long hair, that visible tattoos and non-natural hair colors were banned, that certain widths of pants legs were banned, etc. It was all clearly targeting a specific group of people, the skater grungy freaky folks. And like clockwork, these kids started dropping out of high school and getting expelled, left and right. When we had a protest against it, they sent a school board representative to talk to us. He took the stand and said that we can't be trusted to choose our own dress when we can't be trusted to sit down in the back of a truck. A reference to a high school student who died the previous day falling from the bed of a moving truck. Fricked up, and you probably never heard anything about it. Some girls, I am also a girl, ganged up on me when I was in grade 5. I was a year younger than everyone else due to the teachers deciding to skip me ahead a grade, so I was also a lot smaller than them. Anyway, we went around the back of the school where no one else was and they started punching me and I tried to hit back, but being 9 years old, I didn't know how to. The teachers found out about it and we were all suspended for a single day I think. Mom made me do yard work. That's upsetting. Hope you burned their houses down or so. Got in school suspension in 8th grade. Kid who I absolutely hated came up from behind me and dead-legged me. Basically he kneed me in the back of the leg so hard I couldn't walk. I turned around and punched him right across the face. Administration didn't buy my excuse. I was trying my defend myself. Worth every bit of it. Frick that kid. I never even got detention, but my dad was expelled from high school. The story is that he brought his dirt bike in, with his teacher's permission, to work on in some mechanical metalworking class. One of his friends dared him to ride it down the hall. Apparently he accepted the challenge and threw in a wheelie for good measure, as he passed the principal's office. My dad generally likes to exaggerate, but this story has been corroborated with reliable sources. I got detention so much that I knew the teacher would make kids write 3 pages double-sided of the same phrase as punishment. I started writing them in advance. Every day in 3rd period biology I would walk to the teacher's lounge, take whatever frozen treats, food, or sodas were available, and just walk out. This went on for months until my vice principal asked me what I was doing. 5-day suspension. Nobody suspected me of wrongdoing because I walked in there with so much confidence everyone assumed I was allowed in. I would often have conversations with teachers in the lounge while stealing, right in front of them, and they never asked. I repeatedly harassed my high school Spanish teacher for spending more time talking about cheerleading and prom committee instead of teaching Spanish. She showed us the movie Spanglish, so I got suspended. A lot. When I was in high school, I was really into collecting hot sauces. I had picked up a bottle of Satan's blood on a vacation and thought it'd be fun to take it to school and goof off with friends. The bottle ended up leaving my control and circulated the cafeteria. People were eating spoonfuls of it on a dare without knowing its power. A drop will spice a bowl of soup. By the afternoon, several kids had been sent home by the school nurse after consuming the sauce. The concerned parents called and wanted some action taken, so I was given ice. My parents thought the whole thing was so absurd and hilarious, and ended up putting the suspension slip in a scrapbook with my baby pics and other sentimental items. Suspended a few times. Once for accumulating too many strikes, breaking small rules, egg chewing gum, or placing my school bag where it doesn't belong. Once for fighting, once for truancy, and once for, in the principal's words, attempting to instigate a mob culture. I was suspended for getting swine flu. Senior year, high school, Louisiana. Height of the swine flu business. I felt crappy on Thursday afternoon. By Friday I was dead. Fever 100 plus, shaking, hallucinating, all 9 yards. No one connected the dots. Didn't even know I had it until the next week where my doctor sent me to the hospital. I was out of school for 2 weeks, 11 school days, When I finally got back I had to submit a note to the office. Well, being that I almost died like 3 times in the past 2 weeks, we completely forgot to get it. Well, we called the doctor's office to get a note. Turns out he was on vacation. Wouldn't be back till next week. Called the school. They said no problem. Turn my note in the following week and immediately get told to wait in the office. The principal wants to meet with you. I get in his office and he asks for my note. Not even a note, it was an essay. 2 pages detailing admitting times, fever temperatures and contact information to collaborate. I hand it to him. He looks up and down the page and tears it up into a million pieces like an angry Neanderthal and throws it in the trash. He says, you know, you have 2 days to turn in the note when you get back from being sick. I explained the situation, but he wasn't having it. My parents were called to pick me up and I was suspended not 30 minutes into the school day. How long? 5 days. Oh, and I wouldn't be able to graduate. No big deal. Long story short, we have to go to the school board, set up a court time to present our evidence for why I shouldn't be suspended, expelled, basically, from school. We show all my doctor notes, bills, etc. and get everything wiped from my school record and I'm allowed to go back to school. I had a target on my back the rest of the school year with that principal. One time I got a D on some test, called me to his office and had to sit there for 10 minutes listening to him telling me I'll never amount to anything. I should just drop out like all the other degenerates. This happened 10-15 times after this incident. I graduated with everyone else and went to college. Just so you know, I had never attended the school before in my life. I had just moved to Louisiana. My family moved around a lot. I wasn't a troublemaker and my grades rarely dropped below a B average. To this day the same principal still has his job. You should do everyone a solid and burn his house down, with him in it. I got an internal school suspension in high school for 2 days for whacking a kid with a yardstick on the back. I only wish it had been out of anger instead of a joke. Would have at least made the suspension worth it. I forgot my binder at home 3 days in a row in 5th grade and my teacher sent me next door to 1st grade for a day. It wasn't that bad. Coloring is fun and I smashed that addition test. Threw a rock and hit a kid. Got sent to Opportunity School in Central Florida, 8th grade. Did a week and was sent back to regular old school. I really did not think I had a chance of hitting the kid due to his distance. Lucky shot, or unlucky. I got suspended from school in 5th grade because I was caught reading Bram Stoker's Dracula at my desk. I went to a private Christian school. Thanks, parents. That's pretty funny when you consider that Dracula gets knifed in the end. It's not like the book extols the virtues of evil and vampirism. I got suspended for 3 days once. I was playing basketball and a guy threw the ball at my head. He missed though. I pushed him and told him to pee off. In response he slapped me in the face. The other kids gathered around but I decided I wasn't gonna fight the guy and left for class. Some kids couldn't keep quiet about the altercation and were yelling across the classroom, "Did you hear Ima's head got in a fight with Derp?" A homeroom teacher overheard and sent us to the principal. I was told to miss 3 days and to get my homework. I said frick that and walked straight home. TLDR. Suspended 3 days for getting slapped. I hope you actually said frick that to the principal. I was in the back of the bus and tried to throw a Cadbury egg at someone in the front. It bounced off the top corner of the seat and hit the bus driver. She pulled over the bus and refused to continue driving until someone confessed. Got 2 weeks in school suspension for it. Why not just eat it? They're so good. I made a fake Facebook account for my headmaster when I was in year 7, 6th grade for the non-British. I added other teachers and students, and it wasn't long before the police turned up at the school. Luckily, he could see that I genuinely didn't realize what I was doing was wrong, and dismiss the police. I had to take the profile down and I was suspended for 3 days. My 7th grade science teacher was in butthole. Someone made a Facebook page, Mr. X's shiny bald head, and had a picture of Mr. Clean. Everyone posted on the page's wall bitching about what he had done in class that day. It's gone now. I don't remember anything big happening to cause it though. In grade 8 I was a bit of a craphead and I threw a turkey. Might have been ham. My memory is a little fuzzy. Sandwich at a vegetarian girl in our class. I was suspended for a couple days after that. Fast forward 12 years and me and the vegetarian girl have been dating for almost 5 years. Habitual neglect of duty, which means suspended from school for not doing school. When I was younger I was not the best student, didn't do my homework, daydreamed all day in class, typical 7th grader stuff. My teacher was at her wit's end with me, so they took away the only thing I actually wanted to do, electives. So while the rest of the school was out snowboarding, I was stuck in the principal's office doing schoolwork. I drew an army of cats on my detention paper. When I turned it in, I was suspended. A kid I knew from primary school was getting bullied by 2 guys, so I beat both of them up, explained to the teachers that the guys were bullying somebody but nothing was done about it, whereas I was suspended for the week. Yes kids, do stand up for those who are being bullied. You'll get in trouble via zero tolerance policy. I received 1 day of in-school suspension in 6th grade. I was leaning back in my chair and fell, cracked my head off the floor and proceeded to cry. My teacher sent me to the principal's office for causing a distraction in class. In grade 3 I got suspended for bringing a plastic orange peeler to school in my lunch to peel my orange. I also got suspended a lot for being a little crap in elementary school, from beating up other kids to flooding the bathrooms. And my personal favorite, I dug up one of the young, newly planted trees from the schoolyard and replanted in the pitcher's mound and the baseball diamond. For cutting school, for not being at school for 2 days, I was rewarded 3 more. High school, walking down the hall with a friend. Friend asked for my lighter for a second, so I gave it to him. He burned off a piece of his sweatshirt or some crap. I wasn't paying attention. Gives me my lighter back and this girl comes up and says, "Give me your lighter now." She looked like a sophomore and I was a junior, so I said no and kept walking. Later that day I get called down. There's the sophomore girl I said no to earlier. Turns out however, she was a new teacher and just looked young. She was so mad that I embarrassed her. She told the principal I was trying to light kids on fire. Not a great day. I was using the urinal and took my pants all the way off and had my hands above my head, leaning against the wall. Everyone left the bathroom dying laughing, so the principal, who happened to be walking by at the time, decided to come in and find out what was so funny. Jaywalking, helicopter parents crap themselves, and I had to make a decision between military school and private homeschool. I go to group meetings because they're crazy, and I'm in my 30s. I did not get suspended, but 2 buddies of mine got suspended for shooting a paper wasp at me. What made it bad was that they had looped several rubber bands together to make a 4 or 5 foot catapult, built the wasp out of an entire poster board, and stood up in the back of class to rain heck on my unsuspecting butt. The teacher looked up from his book, and that was that. I stole a pizza and got caught, but I was a Robin Hood and shared it with everyone on the bus. My brother got suspended for 3 days for playing with a laser pointer. The teacher told the principal he tried to shine it in her eye. He admitted that playing with the laser was dumb, but he absolutely did not try to shine it in anyone's eye. I was suspended freshman year for saying "frick you" to a teacher I ended up having and getting along with senior year. Got suspended from elementary school for use of a weapon. It was a snowball. My older brother used to make what he called atomic snowballs. He'd take a clump of snow in his bare hands and melt it into a ball of ice, cover it up with snow, and throw it at me. Those things hurt like a mother. I got expelled for attempting to steal a toilet in junior high. Load of crap that was. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.